Good morning. How are we doing today? I'm just finishing up a coffee to try and set myself up. The skin's not looking too good today. I'm hoping it's just the lighting that I have and not anything else. So let's have a think. Yesterday I finished up my entry for the Valentine's card competition that I'd been working on for the past few streams, and I emailed that and got it sent off, and then I continued working on a pet portrait commission that my aunt had asked me to do. It's going to be a bit complex. It's 2 dogs and 2 horses. I think eventually I want to combine them all into one piece, but for just now I'm going to work on them all individually and then take it from there, like trying not to complicate the issue too early, which is something I'm good at. I'm good at complicating things. It's what I do. Emma Sinen, Queen of Complications. So I'm going to be working on the portrait today. You can see it up there. I'm used to my camera being mirrored, but this camera isn't mirrored. Also today I am going to belaver a bit about my mooncup adventure. I started using a mooncup this week, which has been quite interesting. So if you don't want to talk about the realities of the female body, if you don't want to talk about the realities of a body of someone who menstruates, then this might not be the stream for you, because it can be pretty grim at times. So I'll kind of be blavering about that throughout the day. As always, I invite you to create along. If you're making things, I would love for you to make things while we're just hanging out, chilling, listening to some music. You can ask me anything. I might not answer, but you can ask. The chat is there. I'm just not used to this camera not being mirrored. Yeah, if you want to share what you're working on, that would be great as well. Yeah, so we're just gonna hang out, have a quiet couple of hours, aiming to go for about noon. I might have to finish a bit early today because my wrist is a bit goosed. I usually wear a wrist brace at night, and it kind of helps in the morning, like, so at least I've got like the first few hours of the day when my wrist doesn't hurt. Unfortunately, I woke up this morning and my wrist is still in a lot of pain. It's mostly actually localised in the wrist, thankfully, but sometimes it shoots up and spreads up my arm, which isn't good. I have a physiotherapist, and the physiotherapist knows about it, so at least I've got that going for me. Anyways, I'm going to crack on with this portrait. Just going to blather. As I said, I'm going to be talking about my mooncup today, so if you don't want to hear about it, maybe find someone else to follow today. Okay, cool. And here we go. So look at this good pupper. Hold on, I'll show you the reference pic. I've got it on my second monitor. I'll move it over so you can see what a good doggo this is. Look, good doggo. So we're going to be working on this today. Now, I finished up last week, not last week, yesterday, last week. Can you see me working? Yeah, you can see me working there. Cool, right. So I started working on the darker layer, but I had to finish up because I was just totally tired. I have fibromyalgia and a bunch of other things, so it's just generally I just got too tired. I had to finish up, so I'm going to continue doing this darker layer and build up the darker layers and then start going lighter. That's the plan. Let's get to it. Okay, so let's talk about mooncups and periods and all that good stuff. So a few years ago I made the switch from regular pads to moon pads, which are reusable pads basically. There's fabric, stick it in the washing machine. And I've been really glad that I made that change, because I dread to think how much plastic waste people who use pads create, like through their lifetimes, just from using these plastic pads, which I don't think biodegrade, certainly not in any reasonable time frame. So anyway, so I made that switch. That was a good few years ago. And they're all really comfy and stuff, and at the time I made the switch I was taking the contraceptive pill. I can't remember what pill it was off the top of my head, but I was taking a contraceptive pill. I decided to come off the contraceptive pill. I was actually, if I'm honest with you, I was kind of pressured into coming off it by a shamanic practitioner I was working with, who had a very negative attitude towards any sort of prescription medication. And I was made to feel that it was wrong to control my periods using the contraceptive pill. So anyways, I came off the pill. I came off the pill for the wrong reasons, but it actually worked out okay for me, because my moods have stabilised considerably now that I'm no longer taking contraceptive, which is really good, because I have a tendency to weep and wail a lot. I have emotional intensity disorder. It basically means my emotions go up to 11. So they haven't been anywhere near as bad since I came off my pills, so that's good. So anyways, so I now have a natural period, which means I can't predict exactly when it's going to happen and all that kind of stuff, but I use like trackers and things, so it's not too bad. Like, I've not been caught out or anything like that, mostly because I don't leave the house. Even before lockdown I don't really leave the house that much. Anyways, so I've not been caught out and stuff. However, the downside of no longer taking the pill means that my period for about, I would say about half a day to a full day out of the 3-4 days that I'm on my period, the period is really, really heavy, and I have not found a moon pad that can absorb it all properly. So it kind of, it's just, we don't need to go into details, it's a mess. It's like something out of a horror film, to be honest. So I was kind of like, oh, I don't really like this. So that's one thing. And then I started following this really amazing artist. Actually, I'll look them up. Let's... Now, I'm not sure how to pronounce this properly, so you'll have to forgive me, but this is art of Maquenda, I believe. And they paint the most amazing... Oh. I'm covering it with my hands. It doesn't really help if it's on screen. Anyways, they do the most amazing paintings with their period blood. Now, look at these. How amazing are these? They're just absolutely beautiful, so they are. Trying to see if there's one I can zoom in on. But they do other amazing work as well. Right here, we'll click on this one. Look at this. Isn't that amazing? And I'm kind of like, well, I'm producing quite a lot of blood. Maybe there's something I could do with it. But I can't really collect it with the pads just now, because like the pads don't absorb it, but they don't really gather it either. So I thought, oh, maybe I should try using the mooncup. Now, I've never ever really fancied using a mooncup before, for the same reason I've never really fancied using a tampon before. It's just the thought of having something up there sitting in there kind of squicks me out a fair bit. I can't explain why, it just grosses me out. It grossed me out when I was a kid, probably because I wasn't really taught about them properly when I was younger. Because let's face it, sex education in the UK, especially when I was at school, was not that good. Let's be honest, you know. It was basically, you're going to bleed once a month for the rest of your life, and here's a banana, put a condom on it. So, not thoroughly adequate, and like, heaven forbid you actually talk about relationships, and heaven forbid you actually talk about non-cis het relationships. OMG. Anyways, that's me getting a bit political now. So, do you know what, I'm going to get political, I don't care. So anyways, I had this fear tampons, and I was kind of like, oh god, I want to start using a mooncup, blah 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 blah. And then I found out that my local council, actually I think it's the whole of Scotland if I'm honest with you, they provide free sanitary products, which is amazing because I don't think women should have to buy sanitary products, you know, it's like a kind of public health kind of thing, you know. You know, so they should be provided for free. I thought, oh, that's quite interesting. And I found out that mooncups were being provided for free. So it wasn't just pads, it wasn't just tampons, it was mooncups. And I was like, alright, okay, cool. I'll take this as an opportunity to try it, because like, if I'm not investing any money in it, it's fine, I'm not losing anything. Because a decent mooncup's about 25 quid. And I'm currently unemployed and unable to work due to disabilities and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, right. So I'm havering, I apologise. So anyways, so I ordered this mooncup about a month and a half ago, and it arrived on Friday or Saturday. And I had a look at it and I went, you know what, it's not too scary, I think that's okay. So I thought, I'll do some practice runs before my period starts to see how I get on. But lo and behold, my period actually started. Now, my period didn't start straight away, obviously, because I'm a procrastinator. So I was kind of like, oh, I'll start practicing to use it on Monday. You know, lo and behold, period started on Sunday evening, So Sunday afternoon, sorry. So kind of, it's a wolf moon bloodening, which is, I quite like, you know. I quite like that narrative, that story, that amuses me. So anyway, so I was kind of like, oh shit, right, I said I wanted to start practicing to use it on Monday. Lo and behold, the universe delivered. I had to start, well, I didn't have to, but it was kind of like, right, you're bleeding now, you might as well start using it on Monday. So I started using it. So I started using it on Sunday evening. For the plan was I was doing something for 3 hours on Sunday evening, and I thought I'll do this thing, and while I'm doing this thing I'll wear the mooncup and I'll take it out once I'm finished, and you know, that'll be my first attempt using it. Managed to get it in okay, that was fine. It was pretty uncomfortable. I don't think I got it in the right position. And then when I tried to take it out, I couldn't, and I started freaking out and panicking, and it was late at night. My partner was trying to go to bed to go to work, so he could go to work in the morning, and I was like, you are not going to sleep until this thing comes out of me, right? So he was on, so he's sitting there, we're in the bathroom, right? He's sitting there on his phone looking for advice on how to best remove a moon cup. I'm squatting in the bath, because apparently squatting's a really good position to get them out, and doing a thing called bearing down, which I didn't really understand until I figured out physically what it meant when I was actually doing it. I went, alright, that's what bearing down is. So I did that, and eventually the moon cup popped out, and there was a huge sigh of relief. I took a selfie, posted it on my Instagram if you want to see it, before Instagram takes it down for it being rude or lewd or whatever. You know, fucking body standards, man. So I was kind of happy, and I thought, right, okay, it does come out, it's not going to get stuck, it's fine. And I barely bled, like, externally, which was really nice. Like, I still had a pad on just to be on the safe side. So that was fine. So I thought, okay, right, I'll try again tomorrow. So that's Monday. So it was yesterday, right? So I put my cup in yesterday morning, and yeah, it was fine. I got it in the morning. I didn't get it in the right position, so some blood did come out, but I managed to get it in, and I managed to get it out relatively drama free, which was excellent. So I was feeling really pleased, really happy about it. And I had this little collection of blood, so I poured it into a little jar for keeping, because remember, I'm using this to paint with. So did that. It was good. And put it in again. I tried folding it in a different way, popped it in, got it in just fine, absolutely delighted. And then when it came time to try and take it out, I couldn't get it out. Basically the main issue is suction, which is something you want. You want a kind of suction to create a seal so blood doesn't escape down the sides. That's what you want. But it also makes it really difficult to pull this sucker out of you. So this time I didn't panic, because I knew it would eventually come out. Like, I felt reassured after the night before. So I thought, it's fine, I'll just leave it. So I went and had a break, had a cup of tea, watched some shows, had some dinner, had another go at it. Took me a while, got it out. The good news when I got it out was that it was really full. So I have a lot of blood. I filled up one. It's only little jars I'm using, so I've already filled up one of my little jars. Really happy with that. That was the good news. And the seal was really good, so there wasn't any blood on my pad. Amazing. The bad news is when I broke the seal, because of the way I was kind of angled myself, it's very undignified trying to get one out. So I'm at this kind of awkward angle trying to get it out, and the seal pops, like you hear a pop and you feel the pop, and then my hand gets really warm and sticky and I'm like, oh my god. So I take the cup out eventually, and my hand, it looked like I'd murdered someone. And I was like, Jesus Christ. I didn't realise how much blood I produced. It's not blood. I know it's not blood. I know it's got another name, blah, blah, blah. But we're going to call it period blood. I had no idea I produced that much. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. So, anyways. So I pull that out. And I fill up my wee jar. And I'm like, okay, I've had enough of this for the day. I'm not going to put it back in. I'll just wear a pad and all that kind of stuff. I didn't wear one overnight. So I popped it in again this morning with the plan that I used the same folding technique that I used yesterday that got it in the right position. So today's plan is to try and get it out without spilling it everywhere. That's the plan. Yeah, so at the moment it's feeling comfortable, it's not painful. When I had it in yesterday morning it was pretty painful. I got it in the wrong position. I mean, I know it's there, but it's not painful, so at least there's that. So yeah, so that's my life at the moment. Thanks for listening, friends, I really appreciate it. Yeah, that's the razor, that's why that's not working. So yeah, would I recommend a mooncup? I don't actually know if I would or not, I'll be honest with you. Still early days. I have learned a lot about my body in the past couple of days, which is kind of cool. Like, I'm 37 years old, it's kind of nice to learn more about who I am and what makes my body tick. So that's nice. I learned that I have something called a high cervix, which is part of the reason it's a bit tricky for me to get the cup out. But I wouldn't have found that out otherwise, so there's that. Using the mooncup does force you to get quite intimate with your body. That's a bit dark. How's that looking? Because we don't want to go fully darker, we just want to go a bit darker. That's kind of red though. I don't really want to go red, I want to go blue. What happens if I go here? What happens if I mix these two? Not that one, this one. Oh, that's because I'm on the wrong layer. Edit, undo, edit, undo, edit, undo, edit, undo. Oh my god, right. Control Z. Right. Base coat, Emma, base coat. Use the right effing layer. So, yeah, anyway, so I'm learning a lot about my body, and there's something quite satisfying and quite earthy about being in that much close contact with your your bodily fluids and stuff, you know, and it's kind of cool. So, I mean, like, I'm enjoying it. Is that too big a jump in colour between, can you see my mouse? So between the purple and this kind of red, is that too big a jump? Should I maybe... What happens if I mix these colours? Oh, that's not right, that's mixing. There we go. Right, that's the next colour. So, layer, new layer. So, anyways, yeah. So it's kind of, it feels good. You know, and like, tampons aren't as scary as I thought they were. Mooncups aren't as scary as I thought they were, you know. And it's like, it's got me thinking about like all this crap you're not taught at school. You know, you're not, especially as a woman, you're not really taught about your body at school. My mum, bless her heart, I remember when I asked her what a period was, and I mean, she gave a good kind of medical kind of, this is what's going to happen to your body kind of overview of it, but I didn't really feel connected to my body afterwards, you know. Whereas now I'm kind of like, yeah, man, my body does this cool stuff. Like, my period's not a horrible thing. It's just, it's a thing. Not bad or good. It just is what it is. I'm gonna take a step back a wee second, because I think this bit here should actually be this colour. Just when I saw the colour that I've mixed up compared to this, it's kind of like, oh right, okay, this bit should be darker. So as I said, I'm 37 years old, so I was in secondary school during the late 90s, and like sex education and like health education, what was that? Oh my god, that's a joke. And I really do hope it's better for kids nowadays, and I really do hope it recognises that there's more to sex than sticking a penis in a vagina, and I hope they teach relationships and consent and not just the mechanics. And, you know, I hope things have gotten better for kids. I hope they're learning more cool stuff. I know, and I really hope girls aren't as ashamed of having their period, because it was kind of like you were made fun of if you didn't have your period, because that meant you were immature and young, and you know, so there was that you had to deal with. And then if you did have your period, it was like, oh my god, that's disgusting. So you couldn't win with that either. Yeah. So I suppose, what would I teach? If I were teaching sex education, what would I teach? First of all, I would teach that consent is key. You know, you do not have to be pressured into doing things you don't want to do. You know, that's very important. Relationships should be about mutual respect. Love's important, but I think back to all the relationships I had when I was a kid, and it's kind of like none of them were love. You know, you were just kind of testing things out. Though if you do meet your high school sweetheart and you end up together and all that kind of stuff, like the conventional, the kind of stereotypical thing, you meet your one true love at high school, secondary school, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, if you do that, that's fine. More power to you. But that's not normal, you know? And secondary school's crap. Let's be honest. I'm biased. I had an absolute shit time at secondary school until my 5th and 6th year. I get bullied relentlessly in pretty much most of my classes. 1st and 2nd year were particularly bad because I don't know if it's the same now, but when I was at school, you had all your subjects with the same kids, right? And pretty much most of the kids in my class were just, they were really unpleasant to me, to put it politely. Trying to be as polite as possible. 2nd and 3rd year weren't too bad because you pick subjects, and let's be honest, the kids who were bullying me were not smart enough to be in the classes I was in. Not that I'm saying I'm particularly smart, I'm saying they were particularly dumb, and there's no shame in, I'm not going to pretend otherwise. They were all thick as shit. Not all of them. Some of them did turn out alright in the end. I'm not going to name and shame you, but I'm actually friends with someone who was like a sideline person. They didn't bully me, but they didn't stop it from happening either, you know. But I'm friends with them now, and they're a pretty cool person. I'm glad we're friends. And then 5th and 6th year came, and 5th and 6th year were like a revelation, because all these people who bullied me were thick as shit and or not academically inclined, and they all left school as soon as they could. So 5th and 6th year, I was able to hang out with people who I liked and who liked me. I didn't feel like I had to pretend quite so much. Obviously, I had to pretend some things, you know, like like the shamanic stuff. I kept that to myself. There's only so much weirdness even your friends can handle when you're a teenager. So yeah. So the point of that long thing is, I barely see anybody I went to secondary school with. And it's not out of badness, I just don't see them. And it'd probably be the same for you, kids. Kids these days. You'll go off and you'll do your own things and have your own adventures, and you'll learn to see the world from your vantage point. You know, all that good stuff. So the people who are bullying you, to the people at school who are slagging you off because you like having sex, or slagging you off because you've never had sex, or want to be your boyfriend one minute and don't want to be next, you know, they fuckers don't matter. They don't matter, honestly. People who say school days are the best days of your life are so full of shit, it's unbelievable. Either that or they are living a very, very crap life. So, yeah. So in terms of relationships, what these people think about you does not matter in the grand scheme of things. You do you. If you really enjoy having sex, you do that. Do it safely. Do it safely. Contraception all the time. Every damn time. Do not take any fucking chances. You know. And you can have sex just because you want to have sex. You can have sex as part of a relationship. Both of those are perfectly legitimate, normal ways of doing things. You know, do not let anyone slut shame you. There's nothing wrong with enjoying sex, especially if you're a woman, because there's just still this whole standard about how men who have a lot of sex are studs, but women who have a lot of sex are sluts, and it's no mate. You can take that and shove it right up your arse. What else would I teach people in sex education class? I would get rid of the sticking a condom on a banana thing. I would get rid of the bananas, and I would actually bring in like proper dildos so you can actually see what a dick looks like. Because like the first time I saw a dick, I was like, what the fuck is that? I got a fright, oh my god. Another thing as well, I was talking to one of my ex-boyfriends. We were friends, we became friends for a while a few years ago, and then turns out he was a total transphobic piece of shit, so I'm not friends with him anymore. Anyways, so I was chatting to him, and we were talking about one time he tried being intimate with me, and he got a fright because he didn't realise that lady bits were hairy. Obviously he'd been watching too much porn. So another thing I teach you is that body hair is natural. If you want to shave your body hair, that's perfectly cool. If you want to wax it, if you want to trim it, that's all totally awesome. It's totally fine. But it's also fine just to let it go. That's normal. You're meant to be hairy down there. There's hair there for a reason, my friends. I don't know what that reason is, but there's hair there for a reason. What else can I tell you? Yeah, periods. I would teach boys and girls about periods. I would teach boys and girls about, I don't know, whatever the boy equivalent of period is, like wet dreams, how semen's produced, all that kind of stuff, you know. Teach both about it from a technical medical standpoint, and like from an emotional standpoint. I would also, there's this thing about how periods make women emotional and irrational and all that kind of stuff. I would like to point out that most of the crazy shit happening in the world has actually been led by irrational and emotional men. Maybe that needs to be taught in health and sex education classes as well. Men can be pretty irrational thanks to like testosterone and toxic masculinity and all that kind of stuff. I would also, do you know what else I would teach in school as well if I was doing this kind of subject? Feminism. Never learned about feminism in school. Didn't learn about patriarchy, didn't learn about toxic femininity or toxic masculinity. Didn't learn any of that stuff. It's only been in the past few years I started learning about it. Like in my 20s, and probably in my early 30s as well, if I'm honest with you, I was an egalitarian. You know, I thought we don't need feminism anymore. You know, men and women should be equal, right? But here's the thing, that's what feminism is. You know, feminism is about men and women being equal, but it's also about recognising that we're not equal, not yet anyway. And feminism's also about recognising that we still live in a patriarchy. It's toxic as all hell, toxic as fuck. And sorry, I'm focusing on this wee bit here. You know, we weren't taught to recognise all of this stuff, you know? And then there's like the problem is like I can't think of a positive male or female role models that I had in terms of this is what healthy femininity looks like and this is what healthy masculinity looks like. You didn't have any of that kind of stuff. Non-binary and gender fluid, that didn't exist. Well, it did exist, we just weren't taught about it, you know. Jesus Christ, when I was at school they were still talking about how you couldn't teach about homosexuality in school, which is crazy wild when you think about it. Yeah, right. I'm going to come off my soapbox for a while because I realise that I'm just rambling a lot. So I'm going to bring my energy down a bit. I'm going to focus a bit more on my drawing. If you have anything you want to add in the chat, please do so. Yeah, I've just realised that I've totally gone off on one this morning. And this is all because I wanted to talk about my mooncup. So, what would you teach in a sex education class if you were at school? What would you want to see? What would you want kids these days to know? Oh God, as an aside as well, it's kind of like at school, it would have been amazing to have a class where you were taught how to pay taxes and what taxes were, like what is VAT, what's income tax, you know, what's council tax. We're good to be taught that, taught how to open and manage a bank account, taught how to wire a plug, you know, those kind of things, like adulting classes basically. Like, you're not taught that kind of stuff. And you get a lot of boomers. When I say boomers, I don't mean baby boomers, I mean okay boomers, right? Who complain about how kids these days don't know X, Y, and Z, and it's like, shut the fuck up, bitch. You should have taught us that kind of stuff to begin with. I mean, I was lucky in some ways, like my dad taught me how to like wire a plug, for example. He taught me those kind of things, but like I wasn't really taught how to do housework. I was just kind of told how to do it. So like I struggle managing a household in those regards. Managing money, Can't do it for love nor money. Literally can't do it for love nor money. Thankfully my partner's pretty good at kind of keeping on top of all of that stuff, because otherwise I would be up the proverbial creek without a paddle. Yeah, it'd be good to have like classes that taught that kind of stuff. Like, there's like home economics, but when I did home economics, we were taught how to. Oh my god! We're going off on an aside. We're taking a sidebar, folks. The cheese beano, the toast with the cheese and the beans mixed together, right? Sometimes pineapple if you're feeling exotic. Anyways, right, making a cheese beano. What the fuck? Why is that taught in school? Why did we have to do that in home economics class? Now, I'll admit I have a severe bias, right? Cheese gives me the bulk. It makes me want to dry heave. Never been mad keen on dairy products. I'm now vegan. Even now I'm vegan, I can't even do vegan cheese. You know, it just, watching someone drinking a glass of milk makes me want to vomit. It's like, oh my god. I can watch horror films with blood and gore, but I can't watch someone drink a glass of milk. Anyways, so the cheese beano, right? When I was a kid, I couldn't even touch cheese, right? Couldn't do it. Horrible. And I was made to feel like a complete idiot in a home economics class because of this. And it's like, dude, I did not consent to making this monster. And I don't care how good it tastes. Do not care. It's an effing monstrosity of a meal. It is. It's horrible. So yeah, that's kind of, how does that help me function as an adult? Oh my god. You know, it doesn't teach me anything. I can't think of anything I really learned in home economics. Which is a real shame, because see, after I stopped doing home economics because I didn't take it in my standard grade, so I only did it in first and second year, like 2 sessions a week. It turns out pretty much all the teachers in our school's home economic department were totally sound. They were amazing. Honestly, they were great teachers. Like, oh sorry, they were great people, but home economics as a class was just ridiculous. It needs totally reformed. It really does. It's an effing joke, so it is. Bloody cheese beano. What the hell, man? You know. That reminds me of a slightly other story. So one of my earlier jobs back when I was able to work, I worked as a receptionist, office admin kind of person for a charity that offers counselling. Very good charity. Like, I've got nothing against them at all. Some of the people were cunts, but general rule, they were all right. So anyways, one of the clients was a young, quite an immature teenager, and he was doing home economics, and he made pineapple upside down cake, right? And it looked all right. It looked all right. And he's like, "Do you want to have a bit?" And I'm kind of like, He said it had butter in it and stuff, and I was kind of like, I don't eat a lot of dairy anyway, because dairy upsets my stomach, which might have been why I was squicked out by it, because that was my body telling me not to eat it. Anyways, right, and I was kind of, but this kid, he was so happy that he made this pineapple upside down cake. Anyways, so I had a bit of it, and it was absolutely rank. So it was, but I just ate it going, this is delicious, because I didn't want to hurt this kid's feelings. But here's the thing, it didn't actually have butter in it. This is probably why it tasted so bad. When I actually found out what he put in it, he said it was butter, but it wasn't butter, it was bloody stork margarine. Ugh. And apparently stork still exists, people still use it. What the hell? Oh my god, that's absolutely effing bouffing, man. Ugh. Jesus Christ. So anyways, I hope that kid's doing okay now. I hope he's doing alright. God, he'll be in his mid to late 20s now. Jeez, oh. Time flies when you're locked in the house due to crippling disability. Time flies by when you're shut in. Oh my god. Right. Let's see. To a secondary school. Secondary school was an absolute hoot, she said sarcastically. So, if any kids out there watching this, please trust me when I say school days are not the best days of your life. They might not be terrible, but they are certainly not the best days of your life. You can do so much better. You really can. You get out in the world, you have bigger experiences, and here's the thing as well, right? You think about the friends you have at school, right? And most of the friends I had at school were amazing. But you think about it, you only had a small group of people to choose to have friendships with. And you only have a small group of people to be trapped with. And that feels like a big group of people, but if you're trapped with the same bullies day after day, it grinds you down. But see, when you leave school, world opens up. Loads of different people out there. And you'll find out most of them are actually pretty sound. You might not want to be friends with them all, and that's also totally fine. But most of them are pretty sound. And you meet a lot of cool people. You can meet people based on what you're genuinely interested in. You know? A lot of my current friends now are people who I met off the internet in my 20s, due to random hobbies and interests and stuff. And I'm still really good friends with them. And it's people who I probably never ever get a chance to meet. That's okay. Right, my brain has totally fried and I've completely lost whatever train of thought I had there. Yeah. Secondary school, yeah. And like, I've talked a lot about being bullied at secondary school. So let's go back to primary school. And I thought a lot about things that happened at primary school, and I came to realise that I was a bit of a bully at primary school. I was mean to a couple of girls in my class, but I was also friendly with them sometimes. But I picked on them sometimes as well, and that made me quite. When I think about it, it's like I can't believe I was that horrible to people. I was mean to a guy in my class in primary 5. The reason I remember it was primary 5 is because the teacher who gave me into trouble has the same surname as me. My real surname, not surname. But it actually turns out she was related to my family, because like pretty much everyone who has the same surname as me, we are all like pretty closely related, because there's not that many of us. Anyways, that's the reason I remember it, because she pulled me up about it, you know, and I felt terrible afterwards. But I didn't really kind of come to understand that I was a bit of a bully until like the last decade or so. So yeah, there's something to think about. Be aware of who you might be bullying, friends, because you might be bullying someone you just don't know. Right, let's try and mix up our next layer. See, I quite like this dark kind of thing. It's a bit red though. I don't know if I want to go back to that colour. Maybe I don't. That might be too purple on this one, let's see. Maybe mixing a bit of this bad boy here. Yeah, let's mix this in. Yeah, I'm starting to kind of get kind of tired. I think I've talked myself out. It's like, oh no, she's gonna stop talking pish. Oh no, what will we do? However will we cope with her not complaining about periods and sex education in secondary schools? Oh, life is hard. Right, what's this colour look like? Is that too big a jump, do you think? What if we mix these two? What do we get if we mix these two? How would you like to swing on a star? Carry moonbeams home in a jar? Or be better off than you are? Or would you rather be a pig? Now, there was a sitcom I used to watch that had that as a theme song, but it was like, instead of would you rather be a pig, it was like, would you rather go to Earth? And I keep forgetting what the sitcom's called, and when I do find out what it's called, because friends always remind me what it's called, I never get round to looking it up. So if any of you out there know what it's called, please let me know, and I will try and remember to look it up this time. Layer, new layer, base, dark, 3, fab, stabby do. Bum, bum, bum. Right, so this bit's really dark. Actually, pardon me. This bit on the inside of the ear is the darkest, so I'm going to colour that first. hear someone padding about behind me. I think one of my cats is in the room. Can't see them. I can hear them moving about though. Oh, excuse me. Big yawn. Big yawn. See, this bit's dark, but it's not as dark. Back. Oh, there's a lot of popping noises. I think I'd love to go see a chiropractor. I mean, I know they're quacks, like they're not actual doctors or anything like that, but I really like the idea of someone like popping on my spine because it just feels so sore and tight a lot of the time. I think that'd be really cool. Do you know what? It feels pretty good to get on my soapbox and have a rant about stuff. I feel a lot better. I think as well I'm going to write a blog post about my mooncup stuff. It's been an interesting experience. Interesting. There's a thing. Certainly we are living in interesting times, my friends. I think I need a cup of tea. Do I need a cup of tea? Do I need a tea break? Forgot to do the ears, but I'll go back to that once I've done this bit. Oh, my wee feet are sore. Get the razor. Sorry, my mind went blank there for a second. I couldn't remember what tool I was looking for. I'm noticing that my mind seems to go blank more and more often these days. Wondering if I should maybe mention it to my doctor or if I'm just worrying too much about it. Oh, excuse me. Oof, it's a big yawn. Phew. And fit on screen. Okay, I think we are getting somewhere. I am going to go. Oh, you can't see me. Hi there. I'm going to go and take a wee break and have a cup of tea and try and liven myself up a bit for the last wee bit of my stream. Okay, I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Okay. And we're back. I've just rammed a massive bar of chocolate into my face. I have a cup of tea. And we have about half an hour. Don't mind me wrecking my room. Yeah. So, about half an hour on the clock before my stream officially finishes. So we'll see what we can get done in that amount of time. Pardon me, I'm going to be burping a lot as well because I did eat that bar of chocolate pretty quickly. And guzzling the tea probably did not help either. So we are going for an even darker colour this time. So back to our base coat. Mix down here. Oh, helps if I use the right blooming brush. So this is the colour we're at just now. We want to go a bit darker. Yeah. Need to muck that up, friends. That's better. That may be too dark, let's see. But what if we mix them? What if we mix them up? Let's see, what do we get right here? What do we get? Yeah, okay, we shall use that. Clear. Base dark 4. Now, my drawings are usually quite flat looking. I'm sorry. I think it's because... Oh, excuse me. I think it's because I'm pretty anxious about going too dark or too light. So I'm going to try and be really bold with my colour choices and try and really go for it. Like, and have, like, is it values? Is that the right word for it? Like, have really varied values, like go from really dark to really light, like really push it. I would have done earlier. I was going to zoom in, that's why I was on view. Zoom in, view, zoom in. Might have to zoom in again. Now here is my darkest kind of colours. Sorry I'm so quiet, folks. I'm starting to flag. You know, the joys of chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia and all that good stuff. Let's put on some more upbeat music. What have we got? See how we got on with this. Okay, music's helping. I mean, I don't particularly like the song, but the kind of the beats helping me. Can push through the next 25 minutes.
Smoking my lungs, you got me feeling so numb. Oh, all I felt was you. I was out of my mind, you were killing me inside. Yeah, I know the truth. I know it's that I think of you, I'm losing sleep. I don't know what it is you do. The moment that you walked into my life, I started to from head to toe for you. No, just take it over. The games we play, I lose myself in your views. You split my heart in two. You split my heart in two. You split my heart in two. You I cannot replace, memories cannot erase. No, I don't know how to. Always sort of for fun, got me feeling so numb. I feel just like a fool. I know it's that I think of you, I'm losing sleep. I don't know what it is you do. The moment that you walked into my life, I started to from head to toe for you. Love to see you over the games we play. I lose myself in your views. You split my heart in two.
Split my heart in two. Okay, right, I'm starting to like this song. Okay, I'm not vibing this one. This one's going to have to go. Just that bit. Okay, that's fine, not the end of the world. Did a bit on the wrong layer, but it's okay. It's fine, it's not the end of the world. Just need to pay attention. There, there, there. Mm. That bit isn't nowhere near as dark as that. Okay, cool. Make it a bit bigger just now while we do this, but maybe not that big. There we go.
Where you go, I go. I'm waiting for you.
Yeah.
You know.
Headbangers? Are we in a headbanger kind of mix? think I might need some headbangers just to get through the next few minutes before the pain consumes me. Yeah. Okay, this music's a bit cheesy, but yeah, it's okay. Brushy, brushy, brushy. Oh my god, this is such a cheesy song. I absolutely love it. Okay, so fit on screen. Right, okay, I think I'm going to call it quits here just now. So I'm going to get back to my kind of thingy position. Cool, right, so call it quits for today. So next stream I will start doing the lighter areas of Doggo, and since I did purple for the shadows, I'm going to move into like the yellows for the highlights. I'm considering this an experiment. It's fun. Everything's okay. Life is good. Need to not stress about it. Um, yeah. So I won't be streaming on Thursday this week because I'm at a training course. Um, so I'll be back on Friday to work on the highlights on this. What else do I need to tell you? I think that's it. So thank you very much for joining me today and for listening to my rambles slash rant about menstruation, mooncups, sex education in schools, and school in general. I appreciate it. I needed to get a lot of that off my chest, I realised. So thank you very much, and I will see you all on Friday morning. In the meantime, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and here on the good old Twitter. It's not Twitter. What's it called? Twitch. My mind just went completely blank there. You can find me on social media as littlewolfgoat, and my website is littlewolfgoat.com. So once again, thank you very much for keeping me company this morning. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you all on Friday. Bye.